So how do bad things happen? You know, bad things happen because no matter who you are and what you do and how good you think you are, the fire always gets a vote. There is always something going on at tonight's fire that you have no idea is happening until after it has already happened, until tomorrow morning, right? And someday that is just, oh, gee whiz, how about that? That sure is interesting. And some days it's a really big deal, right? It also happens because fireground tragedies are a result of a calamity of errors, right? It's never just one singular thing. It's this and this and this, and they add together to make the tragedy. But that's the fallacy with bread and butter fires is you don't know what's going to happen until it's all over, right? And you would look at this and you would say, dude, I got a one-story house with fire showing from one window. I got 50 people coming. Like, does good command matter? Why is the chief even leaving the firehouse, right? Don't even wake him up. Don't even wake him up. We got this, right? And that's how people will act. And they'll act very nonchalant and, no, we don't need to do this and we don't need to do that. And all of a sudden this stuff starts to happen. And you see there how quickly it happened. 2 minutes, everything was fine. And then 2 minutes later, the house just fell down and there's maydays for people inside. You know what I'm saying? That's how quick that happens. And you got to ask yourself, when good command didn't matter a minute ago, but now the fire is getting worse. You can't get water on it. You got, burned firefighters rolling out the door one after the other. Half the building just fell down and people are calling maydays. Does good command matter now? How many colored pencils you want? Get me another box of 64 crayons. You get what I'm saying? And if you were half-assing it, if you were too cool to do the right things before all this happened, what's going to happen when it starts to happen? You're unprepared. And if you weren't ready before, you're not going to get ready during. It happens too quickly. It happens too quickly, right? You've got to be doing it right from minute zero, right? And what that means is, if you're really buying into what I'm talking about here, you'll go to a lot of fires and you will overkill it. You will do things that are unnecessary. You will have too many people. You'll have too many hose lines out. You'll have too much, you'll have all this command structure built out. And then this will be this basic fire that goes out, and other people will be saying, why are those clowns doing all that extra shit? We don't need to do that. You just need to pony up and get in there and put the fire out. You know what I'm saying? But then one night, you're going to go to a fire, and you're going to have done all the setup and the proactive stuff, and something bad is going to happen, and now you're going to be ready for it. Now you're going to be ready to react. You're going to be able to react. And the real clowns are going to be the people over here that were too cool to do the right thing because they thought they were just too good of firefighters to be bothered to do too much. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard that? You ever encounter that guy? I'm too good of a firefighter to do the extra. Nah, this is what separates, the real firefighters from the guys that just want to play pretend, right? So, the real answer when we talk about this is good command matters at every fire, right? You don't pull up on a scene and say, oh, it's not a real fire. We don't really need to do this. We don't really need to do that. Every fire is the worst career of your life until proven otherwise. Act accordingly.